If I was to ask you, what do you think is the best camera for travel photography? How many of you would say the Fuji X whatever? But then, if I was to say that I think that this budget A5100 could rival that of a Fuji when it comes to travel photography, would you believe me? Well, I guess in this video, I'm going to show you some examples of what this camera did do on a recent trip. And I guess before we get into all of that, I suppose we should talk about what travel photography actually is, because it's not going to be the same for everyone. First thing that comes to mind is going out there and traveling as light as possible so we can walk around being unnoticed if we're doing street photography. Obviously, if you're planning to do more things with the family and whatever that is, it might not be as big of an issue, because you're not going to care if anybody's looking at you at that point. You're taking pictures of your family. But obviously, if you're going around taking pictures of the locals and whatnot, you don't really want a big massive camera in people's faces in a foreign land where you don't know how people are going to react, or might not actually be used to people actually pointing a camera in front of their face.
Your live stream?
Huh?
Your live stream?
Not live, no.
No?
No. Record and then put the photos on. Nah, not in a minute. YouTube.
Oh, YouTube?
Yeah. But if you're someone like me that does a bit more on the content side as well while you're out traveling, you might not necessarily be able to keep everything light all the time. In fact, let me show you. I mean, for example, this is everything camera-wise that I bought while I was on my last trip. And there's a massive difference when I'm walking around just with this taking memories compared to when I'm doing content, wearing this on my chest, possibly having that around my neck and that on my shoulder so I can get B-roll and everything else. Not to mention having a tripod strapped around as well. So I guess what I'm trying to say or ask is, can the budget Sony a5100 do the job? Is it good enough to be the perfect travel camera in the right situations? I guess that's also going to come down to the type of lenses that are paired with the camera. If I'm talking for myself again, there are two types of photography that I'm going to be out anywhere that I'm doing. I'm going to be wanting to capture memories of the places that I've been to, landmarks, locations, etc. Maybe a little bit of street stuff. And then I'm also going to be wanting to do more creative type photos of possibly myself or long exposures, things that are interesting maybe at night. And both of those will require different lenses. The creative bits, I'll probably be using something like this, which is obviously big in itself. But then when it's coming down to the memory type of bits, I thought I would try something like this, which also brought the whole size of this to nothing. It's basically the size of a lens cap. So when it comes down to the everyday, day-to-day sort of shots, and obviously speaking more along the street side now, you're not really going to get noticed with this paired together compared to these paired together. I don't know if you can see that, it's kind of dark in there still. So I guess just to talk about this lens a little bit, it's a fixed focal length of f11, it's got no autofocus, it's from a disposable camera, so it's got a kind of, well, disposable camera look to it, which to me is something that I want when I'm capturing memories. I don't want that over polished, sharp look on every photo that I'm taking. You do that, well, you've got that, and you pair that with the right preset, then you're kind of heading into the sort of Fuji film nostalgic look anyway. And for the fact that the lens is fixed, for me, it's taking that extra element of thinking about, oh, what focal length should I be shooting this at? What aperture should I go down to for this? All of that's taken away. You pick your camera up, you point it at something, you shoot the image, you get the picture. You make the picture look how you want it to look, and you're coming back with good images that you like for yourself and whatever it is that you want to do with it, whether that's for socials or anything else. I know that for me, it's something that might go up on the wall there like that. Do you know what I'm saying? And I guess if we're going into the price element of anything, this little setup here for travel, it's going to cost you maybe 150 to 250, especially if you can get a good deal on the used market somewhere, compared to a Fuji probably from the XE4. You're going to be looking 500 up at least, bare minimum, even at used. Like a brand new camera, you're spending over £1,000 for it. As this video has been playing, you've been seeing some of the photos that have been captured on this actual setup. So I guess it's down to you to determine whether you think a cheaper alternative could rival that of something else. But anyway, I've got to get back to unpacking and washing. But last thing from me, if you liked the look of the images that have been going throughout the video, you can download a little preset pack of this film style emulation. You can download the preset from these images anyway. The link is in the description for that. And let me know what your thoughts are about using a cheaper alternative camera, and if something like that could be a good alternative to a Fuji. Anyway, until the next one, peace.